Hey, yo, welcome back. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. I was going to try to get back on here on Saturday night or on Sunday, but I just kind of got tied up. You guys know how that goes. But anyhow, I was looking over the YouTube channel, The Daily Reminder, as an Islamic content channel, and I saw this title on there. It is The Real Reason Why Andrew Tate Accepted Islam. And I've just been more and more curious about this. I noticed that since I have started to look at more Islamic content, that I see Andrew Tate's name pop up in my algorithm a lot, like Andrew Tate Islam, this and that, Andrew Tate motivational speech, like all kinds of crazy stuff, And I'm definitely familiar with him a little bit now. I know who he is. I've seen him on a comedian's podcast. I've just seen like little YouTube short videos here and there. I started following him on Twitter not that long ago. And one of the interesting things, Andrew Tate went to jail. He was accused of some type of like sex trafficking crime or something like that, and was held in jail. And the funny thing about that is the whole time he was in jail, from what I'm reading and I understand, there was literally never any evidence produced. It was just off of hearsay. That's my understanding of that situation. But the interesting thing was that I read is that the whole time that he was in prison, he was reading the Quran and doing push-ups. I heard Andrew Tate say that in some kind of YouTube clip or like video short. So I thought it was really interesting. And when I guess for a long time, he was like the most Googled man, like the most searched man. And he was a professional kickboxer, I think a 4-time like world champion, like all this crazy stuff, And the older content I saw from him, he seemed like a guy who was kind of playing a character to a degree to get famous, to just kind of say wild things like that young guys say, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not an expert on him by any means, but I don't know. I have to know like what's going on with this because I keep seeing his name pop up everywhere. And I think I saw that he did a podcast with Mohammed Hijab. And I think maybe he was on the Dean show, and I keep seeing him everywhere. So I want to hear like what's going on, So anyway, I've been jabbering on long enough, man. Let's get into it.
Islam fixes a lot of the problems that men are currently facing. Islam fixes all of them.
I think it's the last religion on the planet. So if it's the last true religion on the planet, then it has to be the correct one.
And I'm not a Muslim, but if I had to bet on one religion as if I were betting on the stock market for the future, you have to bet on Islam. Because Muslims are intolerant. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully. Because if you're tolerant of everything, then you stand for nothing. I can walk through London with a t-shirt saying Jesus is gay, and nothing will happen to me. If I did the same thing with the Islamic prophet, I'd be dead before I got to the end of the street.
Boom.
That's how much they believe and respect. And I respect people who stick up for what they believe in.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't remember who it was. It was definitely a prominent Muslim. I saw it in the last few weeks. And he was saying, basically, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that he doesn't need other people to stand up for him in that regard. So, for example, if someone was like slandering the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, if they were slandering his name or wearing or drawing an image of him, that there's no need for another like mortal man to attack that person, is because you're talking about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, like the greatest man that ever lived, you know what I mean? So, and I agree with that. I don't like violence, especially, relating to religion in that regard. But at the same time, like if you're doing that, like drawing the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or slandering his name, like it's just stupid. Like, why would you do that? You know that you're upsetting people. And I've seen dumb people in the United States say, well, it's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I can do whatever I want, blah, 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 blah. And like, I get what they're trying to say, but you're inviting trouble into your life. You're just being a disrespectful jerk when you do stuff like that. It's just ignorant. But yeah, let's go, man.
That's how much they believe and respect. And I respect people who stick up for what they believe in. And I've been all around the world. Some of the best countries in the world today are the first world Muslim nations.
Yeah.
You can go to Qatar, you can fall asleep with $1 million on your lap. in the middle of the street, nothing's going to happen.
Saudi Arabia as
You
well.
can go to Saudi, nothing will happen to you. You can go to Dubai, UAE, nothing's
They
going to happen
leave their
to you.
cars parked with the keys inside.
It's so safe. Women, everyone's married. Every woman obeys her husband. Every single woman has 4, 5, 6 kids. Big families. All the things we're talking about, all the problems we have here, right? They've got none of that. None of it. Because of Islam. Women have big families. Women are exceptionally happy to do so. Society is functioning. Their population is growing, because in most Western countries, the population is declining. So we have population problems in the West. They have none of the population problems. Society starts at the smallest possible group. You have families, and families make a street, and that street makes a village, and that village makes a town, that town makes a city, and that city makes a country. So if it's broken at the very fundamental level, if its family level's broken, then it's broken the whole way up.
Yep.
And that's what's happened in the West. And the first world Islamic countries have none of those problems. So if you're going to talk about a belief system that fixes issues, you need to go to Islam. Even though I would.
Yeah, I will speak on this. As far as I know, in the United States, the culture with both men and women, but in this context, especially women, is that it's kind of like that. I'm going to be a strong, independent woman. My career is going to come first. I may have kids later in life. I'm not really sure. You know, it's not up for me to say what people should do with their lives. I don't know their hearts or their relationship with God, you know, but there is a huge decline from what I can see in the United States of women wanting to have children, and also men wanting to be responsible fathers and husbands and providers. There is a significant lack. Like in the 80s and 90s when I was younger, like it was like manly to do that, to work hard and take care of your family and love your one wife and love your kids. Like that, like when you saw a man do that, you respected him, you know, and I still respect men that do that, but it's like culturally in the United States, like it's not cool, you know, it's just ridiculous. All right, let's go.
Fixes issues, you need to go to Islam. Even though I wouldn't identify as Muslim, I have absolute respect for the ideology, respect for the mentality, respect for the warrior aspect of it.
I know you're interested in Islam.
Yep.
So you don't have to accept this, but this is a choice.
I will accept it.
English translation of the Quran. So if you wanna
Amazing.
seek more knowledge,
Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate that very, very much.
Have that.
I'm always out for knowledge, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
My invitation to anybody is put your preconceived notions aside. Take what you may have heard about Islam, what you may have thought about it from your own faith tradition's point of view. Put all of that aside. Read the Quran neutrally and get an unbiased impression. So I'm just going to read this for myself with no other influences as much as possible. At the end of the day, human beings are going to have some bias or the other, but as much as I can consciously be disconnected from bias and give it a shot and read it, I think that would be my invitation to anybody. And I would think it's really difficult to not walk away truly being moved by what you're being exposed to, truly being hit by what you're exposed to.
I've yet to read the Quran, but it's certainly something I'm going to do. I'm going to read it without a preconceived notion, without a preconceived idea. And I think that's the best way to do things, because you're right. There's too much bias in the world.
One thing I have noticed with Andrew Tate, with the material that I've seen from him so far, is like there's that kind of part where he's playing a character, but then there's another part of him where he's like being sincere and serious, and I feel like it's pretty obvious between the two, you know. And was that our guy? I believe his name is Newman Ali Khan. I think that's his name. He is the one who is very popular with the ring composition theory with the Quran, right? I believe that was him. But yeah, let's go, man.
Idea. And I think that's the best way to do things, because you're right. There's too much bias in the world.
This is all haram. This is haram, bro. This is haram.
Wait, are you Muslim?
I'm Muslim, yeah. Welcome to the new Muslim Tate. I was born in a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian, and I've always been very respectful of Islam, and it's become more and more obvious to me and more pertinent that Islam is the last religion on the planet. I feel like there's no other religion. People say to me, why did you convert? And I said, I don't really feel it as a conversion. It's almost like I knew God was real and now I've become religious. And also, Islam very closely reflects my personal beliefs. Through my personal life, I've learned that if you don't have standards and you're not a strong person who's prepared to defend his ideas, you will be crushed. God to me is something to be feared. God to me is someone that people are afraid to mock. God to me is someone that you have to go out of your way to prove something to. God to me has red lines. Like, God to me represents the Islamic faith. The Christian God to me, I don't see God. To me, it was the only logical choice in the end. There was a time when I was atheistic. And the reason I am now so absolutely certain that God is real is because I've seen evil. I've seen shaitan. I've seen it. When you see enough evil, you realize that there must be an equal and opposite force. And there are people out there in the world today doing the work of the devil, genuine demons, who are trying to destroy the baseline morality that's inside of all of us. We're all born with some kind of morality, and they're trying to destroy it. And this is why perhaps I found God the way I did, because I understood all these things first, and then I saw the Quran, and it confirmed so many things for me. You know, like even the conversations I've been having so far, so many things have been confirmed, and it's amazing the knowledge that's inside of it, which is so applicable today. For an old book, right? You know, it's supposed to be old, but it seems so timeless. But it's truly amazing. I think when you have negative experiences, and I'm talking.
Yeah, I agree with him. He said, when you see all this evil in the world, there must be an equal and opposite force. You know, being good, being God. And I agree with that, and I've definitely seen that, and I feel that feeling, you know, like it's real. It's like we're closer. Well, that's kind of a silly thing to say, but we're like close. It feels like to like the end, kind of. You know what I mean? It may not be in our lifetime, but it just seems like we're definitely heading in that direction, and it could be in our lifetime. You know, I don't know. But I definitely have that feeling more and more and more, like every day, you know. I'm not letting it get me down, because, you know, that's the way that this is supposed to play out, you know. And I'm on God's team, you know what I mean? So that just keeps me happy as it is, you know. And then one thing I wanted to go back to, I forgot to comment on it, is he said earlier that Islam is intolerant, and I know what he meant by that. It's like when people, like you see it in the United States, like in schools, public schools, they'll allow people to like slander, you know, Jesus Christ and like do these other things. Like in the United States, most people, from what I can see, they're not gonna talk negatively about Islam publicly. It's just people just don't do it, you know. I mean, every once in a while you'll find someone that does, but it's extremely rare. But people feel like they just have this free pass to bash Christianity and Christians, and especially Jesus Christ, you know. And I saw a video from I don't know, maybe in the last month or two, and there was a school where they were doing that, and it wasn't, I think there were some Christian parents present, but it was almost all Muslim parents present, and they were like, you know, I don't know what they were saying, but they were serious, like, hey, you can't be doing this, you can't be talking about Jesus Christ like that, you know. And they were very serious about it, and they were like, they showed up, they handled the problem, you know. It wasn't like 100 Christians showed up, it was like 100 Muslims and like 10 Christians showed up, you know what I'm saying? And so that voice, that unity, that protesting in the appropriate way, going through all the proper channels and just showing up in force and showing your sincerity, it, to my understanding, is that it fixed the problem. They stopped doing it, you know. So it was just really impressive to me. All right, let's go.
So timeless, but it's truly amazing. I think when you have negative experiences, and I'm talking about truly negative experiences, I've had a few where you come close to losing your life, or you meet other people who come close to losing their lives. Nobody's an atheist at the end, my friend. Atheists stop being atheists quickly when the game gets real. So all of us innately understand in God. The most atheist man alive will pray if he really needs help. And also, if we're going to talk about happiness, we're here to be happy and we're here to enjoy ourselves. It's through God that you're happy and enjoy yourself. It's not through that black hole of hedonism. It's not through endless and supercars and booze, and it's not those things. You can find any man who goes down that hole and tell me, are they happy? The answer is no.
That is a straight up fact, dude. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have God, you are never going to be truly happy, you know. Like he was just saying, like the supercars and money and alcohol and all this stuff and being famous and traveling all over the world, you're going to get little short-term burst of happiness, but one, eventually that's going to get old. You know what I mean? You know, it's going to catch up to you. If you don't have God with you, all you're gonna find at the end of that road is a complete emptiness and depression. And because you have been living an ungodly lifestyle, you're gonna have all kinds of problems from that. You're gonna have children out of wedlock. You're gonna have people trying to sue you, set you up, steal your money, all kinds of stuff. So there's nothing wrong with being successful, but you have to live a moral lifestyle, and you have to let God lead that lifestyle, or you're gonna have problems. All right, let's go.
And it's not those things. You can find any man who goes down that hole and tell me, are they happy? The answer is no. Who's the man who's happiest? The man who's praying. If you remove God from society completely, if you click your fingers and he's gone, if you completely remove religion from earth, you'll see the devil appear pretty quickly. You'll see mass breakdown of society. Yeah. You'll see crime. You'll see rape. You'll see murder. You'll see theft. And then you'll understand that God is a real force. I just truly respect and understand that God is real. And I truly respect and understand that with my own eyes, what I've observed, the truest way to show respect to God is through Islam.
Okay, wow. I think there was a couple of little pieces of those clips that I've seen before, like in highlight videos or like on the YouTube shorts. I see so much on the YouTube shorts now, like little clips, you know, oh, that's interesting. I want to learn more about him because, he's out of jail now. He is Muslim. He has accepted Islam. And I saw on his Twitter page that there were some people accusing him of using Islam. Like, I guess I don't know the exact reason of that accusation or what they think that he would gain from that. But I did see a lot of Muslims come to his defense. And my understanding is in Islam is once you accept Islam, it's not up to other Muslims to decide your sincerity. That's between you and God. I mean, if you have like an obvious proof of it where it's undeniable that that's what you're doing, that's one thing. But it's basically like if someone accepts Islam, like your job as a Muslim, right, is to help assist them if you can. And like, you know, just understanding the Quran, understanding God and how, you know, to live your life, because you know, that's a lot to take in. If you revert to Islam, it's a great deal of information. You know, you need to do a lot of research, a lot of reading, you know, listening to podcasts, all kinds of things. You know, you have to learn it. It takes a long time. So you're going to want those people helping you out on that journey and, you know, kind of being lenient with you to help guide you in the right direction. But yeah, that was interesting. You know, I didn't know really what to expect from that video. My curiosity is definitely piqued about Andrew Tate. I don't really know like what other kind of videos that we could do about him. We're definitely going to stick to our main course, the main journey, and that is to continue learning about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That will definitely be the next video for sure. We got to get back on track. You know, and for me personally, I need to get back on track with reading the Quran. And I've just been, you know, I've been thinking about it like I'm doing all these videos about Islam, but I'm not reading the Quran enough. Like I'm asking all these questions and many of these stories from the Hadiths, but I need to make understanding and completing the Quran, and you know what I'm saying, that needs to be my number one priority overall to understand Islam. And I've seen it in some of the comments too, that basically are saying the same thing, and I don't disagree with you at all, you know. And so one of the things I'm going to do, if I'm not mistaken, the Clear Quran, there's like a book on tape on YouTube or somewhere that I can listen to for free. And oftentimes when I'm working, I have to drive to different job sites, and there can be days where I drive, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, even sometimes up to 3 hours going places. And so from now on, that's going to be the only thing that plays in my work truck at all times until I have completely finished the Quran. So I figure if I listen to it like on an audiobook, you know, and then also read it at the same time, because I learn best from repetition, you know, like, and it makes me think about it, you know, like I'll read it and then I'll think about it. And then if I'm driving around somewhere in my truck and I listen to it again, you know what I mean? Like it helps me absorb. And then I know if I have questions, I can ask you guys, you know, and I just feel like it's like doing these videos is so easy for me to get the answers from you guys. Like some of you guys give me like these like huge breakdowns of like the situation, what words mean in Arabic and all this stuff. And I appreciate it so much. I really do, man. I'm not sure what time it is. I really want to do another video. I want to get back on track with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So if it's not too late, I do want to get back on track with that and maybe do another video tonight. So I hope that I can do that. But regardless, if I can't, I will definitely be seeing you guys soon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys, I don't know, maybe tonight or tomorrow. All right.